Leave it to Civivi to make what could possibly be one of the most perfect knives on the market right now. From materials to looks to feel, it's got it all. This is the Civivi Cachet. And not only is it beautiful, I think it's the best knife that Civivi has made. So let's turn this around and take a look at it. Guys, like I said in the intro, this is going to be a hard act to follow for Civivi. I don't know how they're going to do something that is better than this, in my opinion. This is the Civivi Cachet, and this thing is, in my opinion, just, it's epically good. I've never had a Civivi that was this good. From looks to everything. So first things first, we're going to put a spec sheet up right here so you guys can look at the specs. And then we're going to start and do a little bit of size comparison. So the Mumco designs, the Mumco knives designed Kaiser Comet, because that's just what happens to be in my pocket. And to tell you the truth, in my pocket a lot lately. So there's your first knife. Your next knife's going to be Benchmade 940, a knife a lot of you guys are going to have a good size, a reference for, not a huge knife here. And then as always, your final knife for size comparison is the Chris Reese Sebenza Large 21. And you can see not a big size difference. This is not a small knife. It's a really good sized EDC. So let's get this out of the way and let's talk about this thing because it is awesome. So, like I said, I don't think that Civivi is going to come up with a knife that beats this one for me. This thing is amazing. They really hit all the wickets on what a knife is for me. It's the right materials, right feel, the right styling and everything. So this is done in a beautiful clip point style 14C28N blade. Now, 14C28N, in my opinion, is one of the best all-around steels for a knife. It's easy to maintain. It takes a terrifyingly sharp edge. It's easy to sharpen. Everything about it is great. It's done in a fashion with a fuller, so you can reverse flick. Beautifully satisfying on this knife. The flipper tab on it is just about perfect. Action on it is stellar. And the fact is, this blade is ground down so thin behind the edge. You can see how thin that comes down behind the edge. So thin, it screams through everything you want to cut with it. 14C28N is a beast when it comes to cutting. It takes such an incredible edge. And like I said, all I've had to do was touch this up on a ceramic rod a couple times while it was in use. The blade itself is beautifully ground. It's got this fuller that you can flip off of, like I said, but it also lends itself to being aesthetically one of the more attractive knives because you've got all these facets. The swedge on this is ground perfectly. There are no grind issues with this knife. And then it comes back into this, see the lines, how the lines follow back, and you've got this steel liner that's visible through these textured and checkered cream colored G10 scales that give it probably the most attractive look I've seen on a knife in a long, long time, to the point that I'm debating buying one of these. It is in a liner lock, but the liner is really thick, almost like a full frame lock here because the scales cut out around it. So you've got really good access. And then that gives it another aspect of just attractiveness that is great. Now, not just looks on these scales. These scales are grippy and comfortable. I have found zero hot spots on this knife. Not in the pocket clip, not in the areas. Save one small thing that we're going to save. There's only one thing I found bad about this knife. So your handles. Sorry about that, guys. What I was saying is these handles are beautifully comfortable. They look pretty plain, but they are just the right size for this knife. They're not too big. They are just thick enough that you get good purchase. They are the right size that pocket clip does not turn into a hot spot, and it puts the knife in such a good position to cut. Now, cutting. This thing cuts so well because of the way it fits in your hand. Nothing I've cut have I had a problem with. This is not just a fancy gentleman's folder. This is a very capable everyday carry that I would put in my pocket if I was going camping and doing things like that. You have got a reversible pocket clip on this that, like I said, is comfortable. Even though it's surface mounted, there's no play. And it's reversible pocket clip, but it also is just the right tension that even though this is textured G10, it doesn't tear up pockets, it doesn't catch. and it is just perfect in pocket. You can carry it nice and forward in the pocket. And on top of everything else, it has got a lanyard post back here that allows you to have a lanyard without uglying up this beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous knife. Civivi really nailed it with this one. So there's only one little minor critique that I've got. So right after you guys hear from Coffee Brian Coffee, this channel's sponsor and this video sponsor, I'll tell you what I did find. Guys, I have made it abundantly clear that I live my life purely fueled on caffeine and inappropriate thoughts, so it only makes sense that I would partner with a company like Coffee Brand Coffee. Coffee Brand Coffee is providing you coffee that is roasted to order, delivered to your door with no politics. We get enough politics in our day-to-day life. We don't need it in our entertainment or in our breakfast beverages. So go check out description down below. There is a link to Coffee Brand Coffee. Save 5%. You can also use my coupon code CrazySharp when you order. It directly supports the channel. Big shout out. Thanks to Coffee Brand Coffee for sponsoring this video. One tiny thing. There's a little bit of a sharp spot right there that you can feel. It's not a super hot spot, and typically where my finger is when I'm cutting, it's there. But if you happen to like slide your hand back, that is pretty sharp right there. Now, if this was my knife, I would absolutely correct that. I think that the problem is where it wound up being. If you guys look, let me zoom in. That little point, it's not this point itself. It's where the checkering is. There's just a tiny little point that is left, a little pyramid of G10 right there that stands up sharp and proud. And I think that is what did it. It's not the actual, yeah, you can see it right there. That's the only thing I found, and I would absolutely just take a file and just smooth that off. So all in all, I have zero complaints about this knife. I honestly think if I had the money in hand right now, I would purchase one of these. 14C28N, stellar material. This thing is just drop dead gorgeous on top of everything. There's another minor downside. This does get dirty, but the fact is it's G10. You can clean it up pretty easily with a stiff brush and a little bit of dish soap. So knocked it out of the park. Civivi, good job. Guys, let's turn this around, do some final thoughts, and send you out about your day. There you go, guys. It's going to take a lot for Civivi to beat this one, in my opinion. This is just an epic showing. Even though it's a steel liner, I didn't mention that, steel liner lock. It's just about perfect. So I don't have much else to say about it. That says it all. It's just impossibly good. I can't believe how good it is. Guys, that's it on this one. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the videos, give them a thumbs down, but tell me why. I can't change the content if you don't tell me what you don't like. If you want to support the channel, it's as simple as like, share, subscribe, drop a comment. If you want to support the channel financially, I have got Coffee Brand Coffee. You heard me talk about down there or in the video, but I also have got Tempered Trails, also a channel sponsor. They're putting out super high quality laces. That's the only product they're doing right now, but they will have more. I know the owner of their company. It's a very good small business. It's going to go places. He's a great guy offering a really good product. It shares a coupon code with Coffee Brand Coffee, which is Crazy Sharp, all one word, capital C, capital S. Crazy Sharp saves you 5%. If you want to support the channel a different way, I have got an Amazon store down below. If you take that link and you pin it to your browser and use that to shop Amazon, anytime you're going to buy anything from Amazon, it supports the channel. It doesn't cost you anything at checkout. I get a little bit of the profits. So I also have ideas list of items down there that you can check out. Things like, really good knives under $100, cold steel, epic cold steel knives, maintenance stuff like that you can purchase on Amazon. I also have a membership that is tier-based. Everyone gets access to my Gilded server, which is just like Discord. We've built a community around the world now that just hang out, share ideas. There's knife trade. There's a lot of different things we talk about in there. It's a lot of fun. The baseline and premium tier members are automatically entered into giveaways that I do on the Gilded server that are separate of my YouTube giveaways, and the premium guys have access to a sharpening tutorial series here on YouTube that's behind that paywall. Guys, that's it on this one. I love you all. Keep it clean in the comments section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.